Here we're going to demonstrate some important things not to do when you're working at a computer. Notice how far Holly is away from the keyboard and from the monitor. Because she's so far away, she's having to crane her head and neck forward, which is going to put a lot of extra strain on her neck, her shoulders, her upper back, and her lower back. Also, look at how she's having to reach with her shoulders. Look how her elbows are completely locked out, how her forearms are completely straight, and now look at the angle from the shoulder down here. We've got a very abnormal angle, which is going to put a lot of strain across the neck, the shoulders, elbows, forearms, and into the wrists. The screen is angled away from Holly instead of being straight on. So now she has to tilt her head to the side and a little down, which is placing undue strain on her neck, her shoulders, and eventually her back. Holly's now going to demonstrate proper ergonomics, the correct way to keep her body aligned while she's sitting at the computer workstation. Notice that Holly is keeping her head directly over her neck, which is over her shoulders, which is over her spine, down to her hips. So she has a nice straight posture. She's keeping her abdominal muscles firm. And notice now that she has herself moved in so that she's able to maintain about a 90-degree angle at the elbow. She's no longer having to reach to get to the keyboard. Keeping that nice flat line along the forearms. Her wrists are nicely supported here on the edge of the keyboard, and her wrists are in a fairly neutral position, and her fingers are ready to get wherever they need to be on the keyboard. Holly has adjusted the screen so that it's straight on relative to her head, so she doesn't have to crane her neck down or to the side to properly see the screen. If you're using a laptop or a tablet computer, it's very important to make sure that you are not putting your body in harmful positions, especially when you're using the computer for a long period of time. In this particular situation, we can see that Holly is laying prone on her stomach, which is putting a lot of a curve into her back. She's also gotten her neck cranked up to look at her screen, and she's got her head tilted off to the side. All those things are putting extra strain on her neck and on her back. You can see how she's bracing herself with her splayed forearms and elbows, and she's also at a pretty acute angle between her elbows and her wrists, which can put a lot of strain on her wrists and a lot of pressure on the elbows and wrists and forearms if she stays in this position for a long time. Also notice that she's got her feet and her ankles interlocked and putting a lot of pressure on her ankles and her knees. Also destabilizes her somewhat. These are some things you want to avoid doing if you are using a laptop or tablet. In this popular cross-legged sitting position, Holly is actually having to lean forward. See how her head and neck are craning forward. Puts a lot of stress on her neck, her upper, mid, and lower back. Also, the cross-legged position, although it may seem comfortable to many people at first, actually puts a lot of strain on the knees, can sometimes cause injury to the nerves that run along the outside of the legs, and often causes discomfort after a while down in the ankles and feet. So we want to avoid this position for any prolonged period of time.